Welcome to Wealthy Mind, where we talk about all things finances, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the surprising.
Welcome to Wealthy Mind. I am your host, Misty Rose Gold, International Success Coach. And today I have with me Marc-John Brown. Hello.
Hello there.
How are you today?
I am good. Yeah. All the better for speaking to you.
Uh, Thank you. I appreciate that. So, what shall I call you? Can I call you Mark?
You can call me Mark if you want. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. So, Mark, please tell us what is your business? Who do you serve?
Yeah. Thank you. I work in what I call integral performance coaching. Integral
Mm,
performance coaching.
mm-hmm,
I also work in psychedelic peer support, so providing peer support for leaders in the field of psychedelic healing.
mm,
Um, and overall, really just helping people to connect with who they are,
mm-hmm,
why they're here,
mm-hmm.
where they've come from, and based on that, where they're going in
Where
life.
the heck are we going?
Right. Exactly. And so
Yeah.
purpose, drive, direction, just helping people tune in to that within themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I do. I co-run a company with my wife called Native Wisdom Hub.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, we run retreats in South America, healing retreats, leadership retreats, on an annual basis, just helping people to tap into all of that magic that
Mm-hmm.
I've just spoken to within themselves, and we
Mm-hmm.
do that in collaboration with the local populations down in Peru. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I love that you're working with high performers. That is
Mhm.
such a specialized niche. And I know that we need to perform and perform well, but also do it in a way that fulfills us. So is that part of your mission with working with high performers, is helping them find fulfillment?
Yes, absolutely. That's a good question. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Uh, Performance is wonderful. I'm genuinely fascinated by performance. Like
Mm,
I'm fascinated by by human potential. I'm fascinated by the potential that we hold inside of ourselves to create feats of seeming miracle in the world. Like some of the things that I see in the field of performance are, to me, they are miraculous feats of human magic. It's
hmm.
almost magic. And so, um,
So what you're saying is that we have amazing potential within us to do the impossible.
right? Yeah,
I 100% I'm on board. Like I have done the impossible my entire life. So I'm with you.
yeah, yeah. To be able to achieve the seemingly impossible in life, to achieve it,
Mm,
and and I think returning to the whole fulfillment piece, um, part a big part, or perhaps the key to what I coach people in is sustainability and longevity of their performance, and uh, and making peace with the notion that performance is also fluid, right? And can be
hmm.
moved between fields, between environments, um, and so particularly, I have a bit of a particular focus on high performers that are high functioning very clearly, right?
Hmm.
But they might feel like there's something still missing in life. That even though they are you know, doing all the things,
Mm-hmm.
reaching amazing heights and touching many people, or, reaching big places in life. Yeah, when the lights are off at night and, nobody else is listening or watching, and they might have just this slightly haunting feeling that, there's more to life. There's that. What is it that's missing?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that's missing? Why am I not feeling satisfied by everything that I'm doing? So many people in the world would like
Mm-hmm.
to have what I have here. They actually idolize it in many ways and in many
Mm-hmm.
circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
But here I am living this life, and feeling like something is missing, you know? Um,
Yes. I just had a conversation with a friend of mine who has a business this week,
mhm,
and he's bored. And he's like, nothing is fulfilling for me anymore. Nothing. Like, no matter what I do, I'm bored. I'm bored with it all. And I
right.
told him, I said, it's because you have greatness in you that is dying to come out. It hasn't been tapped into. And that greatness is going to fulfill you in ways that you never imagined.
Mm,
Now, he has a very traditional business here in the United States.
mhm.
It's in the construction industry.
Okay. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
And I suggested that he start a podcast and start interviewing GCs, start interviewing property managers. And I'm like, there's an endless supply of them in Colorado alone that can
Yeah.
keep you busy. So go do something, go do something like this that is
Mm,
exciting and it
yeah.
doesn't get boring,
Right.
right? So
Mm,
it was a very interesting conversation because he is a high performer as well and very, very driven, but just keeps hitting this wall of, I'm not getting where I want to be. I'm not doing what I want to be doing. And I'm unfulfilled in all the things. I'm bored. Like that was the massive statement of I'm bored. And I'm so glad that I was there to be his friend and just show up for him and say, well, it's because you have greatness inside of you and you
right.
need to get it out.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. When we tap into that greatness, we find a whole new level of purpose, right? And when we find that whole new level of purpose, we're able to turn it around and out into the world in acts of service. So
Hmm.
when we find purpose, we can give service, we can be of service, right? And that is amplified even more by two aspects that can, not all the time, but very often form part of the coaching and guidance and mentoring that I give people. That is connection and community, right? So
Mm,
when you couple purpose and service with connection and community, it's like life. It's life changing, right? It's life
mhm,
changing. You gain a whole new connection to yourself that you've not experienced for, maybe even your entire life.
mhm,
Um, and and through that connection you garner and generate your sense of purpose, which then inspires you to go out and be of service, right?
mhm,
And when there's a community around you, for example, in your friend's case, if you're encouraging him or inviting him or helping him, guiding him to explore podcasting, then he's connecting with people,
mhm.
he's building community, and through that community he's able to serve other people, either his
Yes.
guests or his audience or a
Hmm.
combination of both.
Right.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah,
And he's a giver. So it's a natural fit because he already does have that natural tendency to be a giver.
right,
And I'm like, okay, well, let's use it strategically. Let's use the podcast strategically. Let's give strategically so that you are fulfilled from it.
right.
So, yeah, there's so much of our intention. What is the intention behind what we're doing? And I asked him, I was like, do you know what makes a great speaker great? And he said, no. I said, the fact that we show up to serve the audience, the fact that we show up not for ourselves, but for other people. That's what makes a great speaker great. And
Yeah,
I told him, I said, you have the potential to be a great speaker because he's looking at public speaking as well. And I told him that he has that potential because he's not there for himself. He's there
Right.
for the people.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. 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 And if we lead with that, if we lead with, I mean, I think John C. Maxwell's book, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, right? It's like, I think somewhere in that book, I can't remember exactly, but I remember it coming from that book. Um, I remember it dropping into my awareness and like it having a real like effect on my, yeah, my understanding of leadership, of public speaking, of
Mhm.
presenting, of leading groups as well. And it's a question that says, who is this for? You know,
Mhm.
is this for me or is this for them? And
Right.
if we're leading with for them, then even if we feel anxious, nervous, like panicky, or all the feelings that can sometimes come, right,
Mhm.
when we're about to speak in public,
Mhm.
if we are able to direct our focus to an empathic connection, again, that word connection with the people that we're about to present to,
Mhm.
like it transforms the whole inner chemistry, right? So
Oh,
yeah,
100%. I just
yeah,
spoke yesterday, and
you
I
did.
I love interacting with people. I love interacting with the audience, and I love connecting.
That's
So
beautiful.
the way that I present is different. I don't just do a PowerPoint presentation and talk at people. I'm asking questions, they're giving me answers, that type of thing.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very interactive, and I can't do it any other way because if it's just about me and the knowledge that I have, I shut down.
Mm.
I'm like, can I ever do a TED Talk where I'm just talking at people for 15 to 18 minutes? Sure, but I have to figure out a way to find the connection in that because I mean, I genuinely don't find that connection right now. So
Right.
maybe in the future, it'll be a nice little challenge to see if I can put myself on a TEDx stage. But if I'm not interacting with the audience, I lose that special flavor that happens when I'm speaking with people because I love, like yesterday when I presented, it was just a conversation with me and the audience, and they were in it. They were so in it and so into it, and I loved it. And that's how I love showing up.
Mm.
So I have this aversion to making it just about me.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's the first tenet of a good speaker, right? And actually, that's one of the first tenets of a good leader,
Hmm.
right? Like leadership, public speaking, it's kind of they're they're very close. You know, they're related, highly related.
Yeah, they
Public
are.
leadership. So yeah, and that making it not about us, not about you, not about me, but
Hmm.
about them.
Hmm.
That it's like one of the core tenets of quality leadership, and as you said, being a good public speaker as well.
Hmm. For
So yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So let's make your message really land with high performers today and make it about them. What do you love about high performers? You were so passionate. You're like, I could tell that you get so excited. You're just like, oh my God, performers are amazing. High performers are awesome. What do you love about them?
I mean, do you know what? Like I truly, you know, I feel so blessed, like incredibly blessed to have been gifted with like three best friends, right, surrounding me. I was on the call with one of them this morning. Um, my three best friends are, to me anyway, they're like the epitome of high performance. You know, one is an ex international rugby superstar for the Scottish national rugby team.
Hmm.
My other best friend is he was 35 years in the British Olympic judo squad, and the other one is a female friend. Those two are both men. The other one is a female friend
Hmm.
who actually ran for president of her country, Iceland, right in the middle of the North Atlantic. And all three of them like becoming friends with those people is what began to make me fascinated with high performers,
Hmm.
because I find it fascinating that they are humans just like you and I,
Hmm.
but they have this capacity to go into their chosen field and switch on something
Hmm.
inside of themselves that moves them into a completely different space. I'm getting goose pimples on my forearms as I say these words. They move into a space, their chosen space of performance, and something switches in them
Hmm.
where they move into like a different mode, you know? And in that field, they operate at a world changing capacity. It's like it the capacity at which they operate, the level at which they operate has the capacity to make huge change in people's lives and people's perception.
Hmm.
Um, and so that I think, bringing that full circle, I think that what it is the potential for impact. That's what's most fascinating to me, is the
Okay.
potential for impact
So
of.
they have high potential for impact. And I'm just going to add something to that because I'm a high performer myself.
Mhm.
And I understand because I work with a lot of people that are very driven. Now, I don't say that I'm a high performance coach. I work with very driven people, and my niche is empire builders.
Okay.
Yes.
I love that.
Haha.
I
Haha.
love
Haha.
it.
So it comes with a specific type of energy, right? When you think about empire builders, it's a specific type of energy. And with both of our loves, you love high performers, I love empire builders. There's one common denominator, which you're so close to identifying. It's
Mm.
the power. It's,
Power. Uh-huh.
yes, it's our personal power
Right.
to create that change. It's our personal power to break through our own barriers, to take us to the next level and do the impossible. That's what it all comes down to, is our
Mm.
personal power. Now,
Yeah.
I know that you and I both work in the space of helping people shift their power source. Is
Yes.
it coming from a negative place, or is it coming from a high vibrational, very positive place, a healthy place?
Yeah. I love that.
Uh-huh.
I love that. The place of power, from where are we showing up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the source of our power?
Negatively charged or positively charged, like an
Correct.
electricity source, right? Which literally we are,
Yes.
uh
Scientifically, we are.
we are literally, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
wow. I love that. I love that.
Yep.
Yeah. It's power. It's power. Yeah, and of course my fascination with influence,
Hmm.
influence, because influence is, it's like, you put a plus end and a plus end of a battery together, they're going to highly influence each other, like,
Hmm.
like they're like you put them close together, you can see how much they're influencing each other. And I
Right.
just feel that whenever people are in the field, the energy field of high performers, there is, at any given second, there is that potential for huge impact.
Hmm.
um and that is, like you rightfully said, is power.
Yes.
um so that power, yeah.
Hmm. And I love powerful people,
Right.
love them. But
Yeah.
again, where are they sourcing their power from? Is it coming from fear? Is it coming from insecurities?
Right.
Is it coming from a love to make the world a better place? Like that's me,
Mm.
is
Yeah.
I take my source of power is from a positive place. And when I'm working with a client to shift their power source from fear to something else,
Mm.
there's always this question, am I
Mm.
going to give up? Because they've been driven by fear for so long, or this need to prove something to another person. And maybe both. A lot of times they're combined, the fear combined with the need to prove something.
Right. Yep.
So if I'm
Yep.
working with somebody in that space and they start to break through and they start to see the light and they start to see, like, wow, okay, I can find a power source that is very fulfilling for me and it's not a black hole. Guess what? They have
Yeah.
that doubt. There's always that doubt of, am I going to still perform?
Mm.
Am I still going to be able to find the energy to move things forward in the way that I need to? And the answer is yes, you'll find
Mm.
more of it, but you have to find a driving source that is beyond, it's not the fear, but it's beyond. So the fear is the driving source of the past. So the
Right.
past is driving us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to make that shift from that source of fear and proving something, we have to have a vision of the future.
Right.
And that vision comes with good things and good intentions and all the good stuff. And that's what needs to pull us forward. So it's either the past pushing us forward or there's a vision of the future that's pulling us forward. And they're massively different energies.
Mm. Yep. Yeah, totally. One's plus, one's negative, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I
So,
really love that. Yeah.
how do you help your clients in that transitional space where they're scared, where they get to that breaking point and they're like, okay, I'm ready to step onto the positive side and let this vision pull me forward? How do
Mm.
you work with them through the process of that doubt and negativity around, am I just going to sit on my couch all day long because I no longer have fear and this need to prove something driving me? How do you
Yeah.
deal with that?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, um, I think a big part of that also comes down to identity, right? And back to those questions that I touched upon earlier. You know, who am I? Why am I here? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Really getting
Mm,
tap into the reason that they began doing what they're doing in the first place, like, right?
mm,
What was it? What was it? What was
mhm,
it?
mhm,
And if it is coming from, as you said, um the past, then uh getting to the root of, like, getting to the root of why, right? Getting to the root of why, making peace with that why,
mhm,
making peace with that why, so that there might at the very least be a sense of peace with that why. mm, I guess in the ideal world there would be a sense of closure,
That will
peace
come in
first.
time, but peace will come
Right.
first. Yes.
Right, yeah, making peace with that. And of course, if closure is available there and then, great. But if not, then it's fine, as long as peace is in
Hmm.
place. And then turning the or alchemizing this energy from that place to a
Hmm.
forward place,
Hmm.
right? And seeing what are the feelings, what is the experience, what is the how does life want to be experienced through us, and how do we
Hmm.
want to experience life from now moving forward?
Hmm.
And 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 how can that be used as the fuel, as the thing that pulls us forward to continue doing what we're doing? How can
Hmm.
we apply what we're seeing and feeling and desiring to experience in life? How can we apply that to what we're doing right now? So essentially,
Yes.
in the crux of it, changing the source of the drive, right?
Yes, definitely. So, what I'm hearing from you is that you love to work with people that are powerful
Yes.
and help them get back in touch with their true self and
Yep.
make peace with the roots of their fear, the roots of their insecurities.
Yep.
And then we're going to find a different power source. Now, for me personally, my favorite power source is joy.
Mm. Yep.
Love it. Like, that is what I live for. I live for internal peace
Mm.
and for joy. And I show up with joy.
Yes.
And if I can't show up with joy, I feel out of sorts. I'm like, that is my power source.
Yes. Yep.
What do you think about that?
Yeah. I mean, joy forward slash purpose, like they're, you know, the joy gives birth to the purpose, right? Like,
And the purpose gives birth to the joy. Like,
right. Yeah,
it's a
totally.
cycle. It's a positive cycle. So many people are used to negative cycles
Yes.
where fear and control feed off of each other. Control creates the need for more fear. Fear creates the need for more control. But it's
Mm,
the same
mm.
with everything that we're talking about here. Those
Yep.
cycles feed off of each other. Purpose feeds off of joy. Joy feeds off of purpose.
Right. Yes, totally, totally. A symbiotic cycle. Yeah.
Yeah. Like an
Yeah.
infinity cycle. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally. Um, and anytime it got, because hey, we're human, and mistakes can be made. We can trip up. Relationships can fail, and those things can make us fall off of that wagon a little bit. And so,
Unless, unless we have the right mental state.
right, okay,
Uh-huh.
okay. But if we do fall off, or hey, we got two tools here. So you give them the right mental state so that we can continuously feed from purpose and joy, which is what I'm
Hmm.
guessing, right? Yeah.
Well, yes, I'll fill in the blanks there for you, but let's talk about where you were going. If they fall off,
Yeah, if they fall off, there is a, a simple tool that I've already, spoke about, which is just tuning into the why. So, oh, hold on. Oof, brush myself down. All good. Right. Where were we? Like, where did we fall off? Okay, cool. Why did we fall
mhm,
off? All right. Why did we begin in the first place? Why? What was the journey that brought us up to this point in time? What was the root of it? Okay, why did we begin again? Okay,
mhm,
okay, cool. Um, there we go. Back to the beginning, back to the purpose, back to the why. And yeah, who is it? Stephen Sinek, Simon Sinek, that says start with why, right? So at any point,
mm,
if we're kind of knocked off the wagon for some reason, it can happen. Um, yeah, start with why again. Just go back to the why. But yeah, I'm intrigued to hear
yes.
like what is it that you go fill in the blanks with um the right mindset. I'm intrigued.
Yes, definitely. So what you're saying is something that keeps me going on hard days.
Mhm.
If I if somebody precious has died and I'm experiencing grief, why am I getting up every morning? It's because since I was 8 years old, I've had billions of people on my heart and my soul, and then drive to reach them and the drive to make our world a better place as we know it. And that's part of it. What you're saying is that's my purpose, right? So it helps me move forward in those times where life just kicks you in the butt and you've got these heavy emotions and you're like, okay, I'm getting up for the people because they need me. If I don't get up right now, who is going to suffer because I did not show up?
Oh, that's powerful. Yeah,
Yes. So
that is
that's part of my thought process when I have those times.
okay.
Now,
Love it.
when it's just, the general crap that comes at us through life,
Mm,
somebody disappoints us, a relationship ends, that type of stuff.
mm,
Or you lose a client, or things don't pan out the way you thought they were in this certain type of avenue that you've taken in business, whatever the case, right? It's the perspective of there's good in all things. Now let me go find it. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the truth. So if we're willing to seek the good in all of our experiences, all of them, which will eventually liberate us from everything from our past and give us the closure that we talked about.
right.
If we seek the good in all things and
Mm,
then figure out what the truth is too, that combination is the mental shift that is going to make it so that we can stay consistent in our action and our performance every
mhm,
single week, no
mhm.
matter what's coming at us, because we have trained our mind to look for the good in the situation. And that brings us to the truth.
Right.
And when we can identify the truth, we unlock a whole ton of power. We unlock the power of the experience, we unlock power within us, and we unlock freedom from some of the stuff from our past.
Mm,
But
yep.
we also unlock more of our abilities, our superhuman power
Mm,
that we have yet to tap into. Like all this, the DC and Marvel and all the superhero stuff,
Yes.
I believe that humanity can do that,
Yeah.
but we have to go through these different stages of unlocking our potential and our power. And maybe in 200 years, people can fly on their own,
Yeah.
right? It's like, if all things are possible, sure, we can figure out how to levitate and float. We
Mm,
can float from one room to the next, whatever. Like, I
mm,
mean, this is kind of challenging people's belief systems, but I believe that all things are possible. And it's just getting us through these different steps of unlocking that true power within us. And if we're seeking the good in all things, we're not bound by negative thought processes. We're tapped into a massive power source that is unseen that gives us the ability to achieve the impossible. And
right.
that's where truth lies. If we're not willing to seek the truth, our power is so limited. So these
Mm,
people that you and I come across that are already powerful, maybe they're only running on 10% of their power because it's a power source of fear. It's a power source of insecurity. It's a power source of something else. And they're already impressive. Holy crap. What could they do
mm,
if they shift into their full power?
right. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah. 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 Right enough.
Right?
Right enough. Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing.
So, what do you think about that mental shift of seeking the good in all things and the truth of all things?
Yeah, I love it. I love that. Yeah. Yeah. It's powerful. And uh I keep getting since you've said this, I keep getting the image of a battery, plus and minus,
Uh-huh.
like um continuously sourcing from the plus,
Yes.
continuously sourcing from the forward moving momentum. And it makes sense, it makes sense.
Hmm.
Not that I want to continue the act of challenging people's beliefs, but there is a theory out there that the whole universe is not just a series of planets that are spinning in like a circle or in a cycle like this, but actually the whole universe is this, like, it's almost like this longitudinal vacuum that is like spinning its way through infinity, right? And it's continuously forward moving. And I love that notion. I think that when we look at when we look at the natural world around us, it's like it's just constantly growing, and it's just constantly, you cut away a branch or a leaf and it grows back. And so it fits with my observations of nature, and I love to just tap into that at every juncture possible, which completely ties in with what you are saying here, you know
Mm.
to tap back into that, like, forward moving momentum, sustaining momentum gaining perspective. um I love it. Thank you for
And
sharing.
yes, of course. And I want to just simplify what I'm hearing from you
Mm,
is that there's a massive power source out there, and I don't care what you call it, but it's invisible.
right.
And we tap into it when we look for the good. We tap into it when we look for the truth, when we look for the healthy, the positive.
Right.
But we remove ourselves from that infinite power source if we're in fear,
Right.
if we're in a control state, if we're
Yeah.
in massive insecurities, if we're in that competitive plane of trying to prove ourselves to another human being,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We lose access to that infinite power source.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
ways, the things that we're talking about right now help
Mm,
people shift into that infinite power source. But the challenge is to stay there. Once you find it, the challenge is to stay there. And that's where that mental process comes in. Look for the good, seek the truth, and you'll stay in that infinite power source. That's where I hang out, y'all. It's
yeah.
amazing. I love it. And that's why I'm able to show up with a power source that people aren't quite used to.
Right.
They're like,
Yeah.
wow, she's powerful, but where the heck does it come from?
Mm, mm. Yeah. 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 How did you say, seek the good and look for the truth? Is that, yeah, seek the good and look for the truth. I
Hmm.
love, I love that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, keep people tapped into tapped into the good, tapped into, yeah, the plus point, as we've said.
Now, this leads us to a question that I want to ask of the audience.
Mm-hmm.
What is your power source?
Mm,
That's not us. That's not our decision.
right.
As advisors and coaches, we are not there to make the decision for you.
Right.
We are there to guide you to analyze where is your power source coming from and do you want to shift it?
Mm,
That is a personal choice. We're not telling you you have to, but where is your power source coming from and do you want to shift it?
right.
If you do want to shift it, reach out to Marc-John if you're a high performer. If you're an empire builder, reach out to me, of course. But
Yeah.
if you find yourself in that place where you ask yourself that question and your honest answer is no, sweet, rock on.
Yeah.
Use fear as your power source. That's your personal choice. And we are not going to shame you for it. We're
Yeah.
not going to guilt you for it, but that is your choice.
For sure. For sure.
Awesome.
Hmm.
Well, this has been a wonderful conversation. I appreciate your time. So, Mark, where can people find you? What is your website? Where can they find you if they would like to get in contact with you?
Yeah. I mean, I'll give you all my links, so you can
Yeah,
take
we'll
them.
provide that in the
Yeah.
description, but just real quick, what is
Yeah. Yeah.
your website?
On Instagram, I'm Marc-John Brown, MarcJohnBrown.
Mm,
The website of the company that I run together with my wife is nativewisdomhub.com. And
awesome.
if you just visit the coaching section, that's where you get all the information on my coaching.
Mm,
Uh, yeah, and also, like, is it okay if I give the audience a free gift for coaching me? Is that okay?
we'll handle that later.
Yeah. Okay.
So it'll be in the description. If you guys are interested in this wonderful, free, mysterious gift from Mark, it'll be in the description. So,
Love it. Thank you for
yes,
having me on. It's really, yeah, I'm very energized by our conversation. That is,
good.
yeah, you are a good source of positive energy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to speaking with you again.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you. And thank you for everybody else that tuned in. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Until next time, have a wonderful week.
Thank you for tuning in to the Wealthy Mind podcast. Please be sure to download the Wealthy Mind app today and make sure to support your local Dress for Success.